Hello everybody and welcome back to Nova Drift. You'll see really nicely. I can't believe I had this out of the other episodes, but one of the really cool quality of life things the developer included is the planets drifting in the background. So I've had my morning cup of tea and it's pouring rain outside, which I enjoy for one reason or another. Police car has just gone past. It's been an eventful morning. I've got a drink ready. I'm sorted. Let's get into Nova Drift. So last time we unlocked enemy territory, which I'm going to pop on as well, and it's going to turn the entire game into like an absolute fest, just really early, which is great because we can get started in a bunch of builds. Once I get towards some of the more later unlocks, I might turn a couple of these off just for the sake of longevity. And let's get started. So last time we did, what was it? It was the triple shot railgun build, and you can see like already the game is just, we skipped that entire initial asteroid phase, and I enjoy that to a point just because you get through the game a bit faster, and that initial part is a bit slow. Plus you get a couple of upgrades really quickly. I'm not sure what I'm feeling for this round. Maybe like a grenade build. Massive seizure warning, by the way. You know what, let's go Vortex. I enjoy Vortex a great deal. And let's not die using it in like the first wave. So if you haven't already noticed, Vortex is a giant black hole that we fire. I'm going to take Sentinel with this actually. The rate of fire doesn't matter too much because that just affects the charge rate, and I really like being defensive when I'm running Vortex because I do not need offense with this thing, like past a point. Don't stay in that. So, yeah, in case you haven't already noticed, Vortex is a giant black hole that you fire, and if you hold it for too long, which I'll demonstrate now, does massive ramping hull damage. So the way Vortex works is, the longer you charge it, the bigger it gets, and the damage scales almost exclusively with the size, because it doesn't do any direct weapon damage. It does almost exclusively burn damage, which makes upgrade trees like Candescence, the one that we unlocked mid last run. I will take these upgrades in a second, I swear. Ridiculously important for it. So I'm going to take Halo again for the burn damage, and then I'm going to go for probably Magnitude, because it's going to increase the weapon size, and the weapon damage scales with size. As well as that, just having a giant black hole is nice. Ooh, get bodied. So I'm going to be taking things like Candescence, which are going to upgrade my burn damage quite significantly, and it's like 20% initially, and then that goes up from there. Whenever it shows up, that is. And I'm going to take Payload as well, because again, the rate of fire just doesn't matter. Especially because if you have a weapon that already charges, and I do, and you take Charge Shot, which is what I'm going to take here, your rate of fire affects the weapon charge, but for weapons that charge innately, Charge Shot increases the charge rate along with any charge costs. So effectively, it's going to charge really fast. I'm going to take more damage if I charge it for too long, but I'm hopefully just not going to charge it for too long, so it's not too bad. I'm not going to take Velocity because I want to move with this weapon as slowly as possible, and then I'm going to take Regeneration for some extra defense. Once you have it, like, it also pulls enemies in, and once you have it stacked up like really big, do I want Hull Strength? I do want Hull Strength. Once you have it stacked up really big, it starts pulling enemies into you. So I'm not going to take Regenerative Shields here, just because it reduces my hull regeneration to 30% while my shields are up, and I do like straight hull damage through my shields. There is an unlock through, I believe it's, I do really want Absorption actually. I don't think I have it available to me here, but one of the things is like damage applies to your shield and your hull at the same time, which can be nice for something like this, but I'm probably not going to take it. I'm going to take Absorption so I can get into Force Armor, and I'm going to take Candescence. So there it is, 20% burn damage. That's basically just a 20% damage up on this weapon, which is quite substantial, and now we have giant black holes. Like I said, I'm going to take a lot of damage to do them. Once I get things like Force Armor, which will reduce hull damage, get extra hull damage resistance, and I have less crash damage, which is just nice as well. I'm probably going to look at things like, I'm actually going to take Magnetism. I'm going to be looking at finishing out the Candescence tree, and then almost exclusively defensive and movement based upgrades. Because while you're charging, I have reduced thrust effects, and I really want Deadly Wake for this weapon. There are like not really sizable downtimes, but I can really only affect like once I say a portion, but like half of the screen at one time. And being able to get enemies in front of me is quite nice. So you'd think like there isn't a great deal of a point to taking crash damage. You'd be very wrong. Crash damage resistance rather. But I will eventually take force armor. I just have it sitting here for now. I kind of also want Juggernaut. If you take if you have an enemy that launches into your vortex, they can deal damage to you via crash damage. So it's quite nice to have that. I'm going to take corrosion here. So my hits, which is like the way Vortex works, it's like constant rapid fire hits. So I lose 15% weapon damage, which doesn't matter because my weapon damage is 0. I'll show you that in a second. They deal burning damage over time, and then when an enemy is affected by corrosive stacks and it dies, it spreads them to nearby enemies. So yeah, if we pop in here, damage, just highlight it, is set to 0. Which is kind of terrible, you'd think, but then it's also got, is my burn damage here. No, why would it be? That would make too much sense. I guess I'll add that in later. The Vortex also has like negative scaling with multiple projectiles. So as you can see, the Vortex degrades really, really, really slowly. We're also probably not going to take Purge. It's nice, but I'm not going to be ramming into enemies intentionally, so it's not as useful for me. I'm going to take targeting though, and then I'm going to take improved thrusters again later. Yeah, so solid Nomas. Also the giant ring enemy, I really should learn his name. Its name just decimates with this as well. It's like that last railgun build that we did. I've beaten Seraph with one of these builds in the past, and it was immensely fun, so I'm absolutely looking forward to do it again. I'm going to take shield effect radius. It's just better for burn. Let's get in there and hold one of these on. There we go. Yeah, like I said, this guy just dies to this. It's great. It's probably one of the most powerful upfront weapons in the game, honestly. I really want Purification. Why is it not showing up? I'm going to reroll here. Purification, 6. So minus weapon damage, which again doesn't matter. We get hull strength recovered for every burning enemy, hull flat shield durability recovered, and we also get burn damage plus 50%. So it's plus 20% burn damage and then 30% burn duration, which again is effectively a damage increase. So as you can see there in the middle of the fight, my shield just regenerates so fast. And if I launch one of these things out, I just start doing damage to them. I'm going to take improved thrusters, and I'm probably going to take force armor the next time it shows up, as well as Juggernaut, which will make me bigger and give me increased hull strength. Oh, nice. I really enjoy being able to do that to enemies. Just like set a vortex inside them and then watch them like absolutely disappear. That enemy has caused me so much trouble in the past. I'm just really happy to watch it die. The reason I'm doing Vortex as one of the earlier builds is the fact that Vortex isn't reliant. This is Deadly Wake. Isn't heavily reliant on a great deal of things. It kind of does what it does no matter what you do, as long as you don't go like heavy multi-shot. And there are a couple of really specialized builds that I really, really want to get at. Things like heavy drone build that are going to like really thrive if I have a couple of these super mods to go along with them, and it's Celestial Lance type builds which just flat out require that I unlock them in the first place. So I'm going to take Deadly Wake, which leaves behind this trail that does really big damage to enemies, 240 burning damage per second, which will, if I hit enemies with it, heal my shields and my hull strength. And you're getting a feel watching that for what a Celestial Lance build is going to look like. It's just great. I'm going to die so many times doing it, but I really can't wait. Oof. I think I have 2 levels up or just the 1? Did he get carried off screen? Do I not get experience from that guy? I'm mad. I'm really angry. I don't want focus shields here. I want my shield to be really big. I don't like any of these, actually. Although I do want guidance. Yeah, the minus velocity is actually great. as you can imagine, with a weapon that homes in at all, actually, velocity really reduces the homing, and that makes taking most forms of guidance with things like the name completely escapes me, which is terrible. Very unprofessional. What is it called? Railgun. Railgun homing is unfortunately quite poor just because it's so fast. But a weapon like this, which move really, really, really slowly, you can make massive use of the guidance things, the homing strikes, as well as the fact that it pulls enemies into it as well. So I'm going to take Purge here just to get it out of the weapon, get it out of the mod pool. Even though I don't really need it, I didn't like most of what was there. The only thing that I'm kind of worried about is later on in the game, there's enemies that appear in front of a sun, and my weapon is just like extremely orange, so I'm not going to be able to see anything at all. Also, as I'm charging, it tints the screen, whatever the color of your shield effect is. So if I were to swap out my shield to like amp, it would be lightly red. If I swapped it out to warp, it'd be slightly purple. One of the really, really, really nice things is just the fact that your weapon color changes depending on what shield effect you have. This guy is really, really frustrating because your thing doesn't actually pull him effectively. He's got a really, really strong thrust to work with the fact that he creates a black hole, and also the little orbs, they can completely stop your vortex. And I don't want to die here. Okay. There is an upgrade that I don't think we've unlocked the path for yet. Emergency systems. This is just great. I'm going to take this right away. Just because there's a lot of situations where I'm going to be putting myself, especially later on in the game, at much lower health amounts. Case and point, apparently. And when my shield breaks, I want to be able to not die immediately. Emergency systems is just great for that. So luckily, again, the next time that we've encountered Juggernaut, which is this time... Oh, he's dead. Oh, okay. That was a singularity and not a set of comets. Oh, no. My experience. No. And I got sucked in. And I made it out. Okay. So yeah, that was just purely by merit of improved thrusters. No. I'm not dead, but I have no right not to be. Fire that out. I need to play extremely defensively here. My shield is back up, thankfully. And you need to die. So I put myself in a really, really, really dangerous position here. So yeah, this is one of the scary things about some of the mods, or the weapon modifier, run modifiers rather. I might be leveling up a whole lot faster, but also enemies are going to spawn literally constantly. I'm absolutely going to take Juggernaut, not Juggernaut, this is the wrong game. I need to stop doing this. I need to stop just charging up and pulling all the enemies in, but it's really fun. Enemies are going to spawn like absolutely crazy, and I think once I get a little bit later into it, I'm definitely going to go achievement hunting once I have all the unlocks gotten and a couple of the builds tried out, because there's some really, really neat achievements out there that I definitely want to give a try to. Do I take flat shield durability? Or do I take radiant shields? It's got a slower shield cooldown, which I really don't want now that I've got emergency systems, so I'm thinking shield durability, yeah. Oh, that is just so satisfying to watch. So satisfying. I really don't like that enemy. It's such a hassle to deal with if you don't have a build that can deal with it. And I mean, you could say that for literally anything, I guess, but oh, it's so nice to watch them slowly get destroyed. So unfortunately, yeah, the thing about a Vortex run is it doesn't require a lot of thought beyond once your health gets really low and you potentially start killing yourself. Everything up before then is absolutely fine. I'm definitely going to take reflexive shields for the shield durability. And then later on I'm going to take... Is it weaponized shields is one of them. And then there's another one later on as well. That giant spiral, giant expanding nova there, that was a purge effect. And the... Oh no, oh no, oh no. I need to not be here. Let's fire this out and then move. Okay, that's not too bad. We're in a reasonable situation now. Oh, we have a level up. Sick. Do I want stabilization? I would like the ability to move faster. That would be nice. But I think shield cooldown will get me flash shielding, actually. Which would be nice. Although I could do less burn damage with my shield then. I don't think that matters too much. No, especially not when I have Deadly Wake. It's great for enemies that really, really slowly chase you, or just move behind you at all. It just does so much damage. Like, it's 240 burn damage per second. And I think it lasts for like at base like 3 or 4 seconds, and then I also have purification, so it just does, it's got like 30% onto that, which honestly isn't much. It's like maybe an extra second, but an extra second dealing 240 damage is it's nice. Also, I got a hyper boost, so you can now see my giant rainbow sparkly supernovas, or black holes rather. They're pretty fun, I gotta say. I'm also going to take force armor now. Just, I don't like the situation that I'm in. And he's dead. And straight into another boss. Okay, that's fine, I guess. This is an absolutely terrifying enemy. He's got... If you thought Juggernaut was tanky, this man is just not okay. Levels of destructive. He takes absolutely ages to kill. It does obscene amounts of damage with everything. And if he rams you, you just consider yourself basically dead. You might survive if you've got like a couple of crash damage resistance things, and if not, then, well, hard rip. Also, he explodes a lot, so there's that too. There we go. Now, I know I didn't have a lot of trouble with him there because, again, Vortex is a disgustingly powerful build. Like, at its base level, and once you start throwing a couple of burn damage things onto it, it's just not okay. Sick. So, barrier, definitely. I would definitely like that. Fire you off. I also... Maybe I should take shield effect radius, actually. It would be nice. It'll come back around again later on anyway. Just because when I'm pulling enemies into me, they take burn damage from... Oh no! Ooh, that was a there but for the grace of God go I moment. Oh my god, okay. Let's not do that again, ever. Please. It's gonna happen repeatedly over the course of the run, I just know it. Yeah, if I pull enemies into me, they take burn damage before they even get to my vortex from a shield. And that will kill a lot of enemies. I killed myself. I have no excuse to make. Nice, I got another challenge. That's just great. Love it. Let's put that challenge on. That was... I'm going to do that again because that was just... I don't have an excuse to make for myself. I don't. I'm not going to say like, oh, I was heavily distracted because I was talking. I meant to release it and then I didn't take my finger off it, which is just like... Oh. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I have no answers. Do I want to go straight down the road of improved thrust? Yeah, why not? Get Deadly Wake like ASAP. You might think that I'm overvaluing Deadly Wake, and you're probably right, in fairness, actually. But later on in the game, I'm going to encounter a specific enemy. We actually encountered it last game, so I don't need to over-explain it, but it's the one with the one I died to repeatedly, or rather at the end. The one with Deadly Wake. And the explosions, if they just leave around the area, it does so much damage. Like, it's a completely non-trivial amount of damage that it just does. I really don't want velocity here. Hold strength. And I don't want to just neglect a part of a build that, or like an effect that does massive amounts of damage that I'm going to be upgrading emergency systems straight away. I'm going to be upgrading to benefit, I guess, because I'm going to be taking like Candescence and Purification and those kinds of things, which all increase burn damage by sizable amounts. When it already upgrades my weapon, it is technically 2 upgrades, to be fair, but the thrust-based upgrades are just great, honestly. I mean, I do want stabilization, but power reserves is nice. I like agility a lot more, but I've never actually taken strafe yet, and I will at some point, but whew, that is a lot of pull resistance. I need to be really careful here. I'm overcharging these way too much. So I'm still missing, I think, like magnitude and incandescence, and that's all my damage stuff. I really don't want velocity. Take magnetism. I find that I pretty much always take magnetism. It's not strictly speaking necessary, but like it's one of those has a habit of coming up until you take it. And just because currently my mod pool is a bit more limited and like super mods aren't in it and all those kinds of things. So but also, it's just a really nice quality of life thing. I've always been a big fan of like pickup radius type things in games. Volatile shielding. Absolutely. So, yeah, I've always been a fan of those, and it's just nice to have a thing that does it. Next up is discharge, which one of the other effects of shield effect radius. One of the really, really cool things about Nova is when it's near enemies, and if it's like charged at all, but the size of the projectile scales, discharge, nice. The size of the discharge from the vortex scales with its size. It launches incandescence though. It spawns out like a lightning bolt from it, and that deals more damage and scales bigger depending on is bigger depending on the size of the projectile initially, but also it does burn damage, and discharge does that as well with my shield, and it deals more damage and has greater reach with slow firing weapons depending on the size of your weapon. So if I were to do this, I get a giant, just like Mace Windu type fucking giant lightning bolt every time I fire. This is like some actual Sith shit, and I get to launch a projectile that then proceeds to continue to do that. It's fantastic. I do take like light damage. There's payload. I'm gonna take incandescence. I do take light damage, shield damage when I fire. I say light, but as well as the fact that I'm taking hull damage as I charge the weapon. But I can't pass up its offensive abilities. It's just really great. Just gonna try and hit this guy with some deadly wake shots. No, I didn't get him. I mean, I got him. Don't get me wrong, like, he's dead, but nice, cool. I think I killed him with the lightning blast from this. It's pretty satisfying, I gotta say. Unfortunately, I've never actually had the opportunity to take discharge with this before. Just because, like, I mean, every run it's going to be a little bit different, and then payload. Yes. Every run it's going to be a little bit different, as you can imagine. Just it's the nature of the game, which is great. It's really, really enjoyable. That's why people play roguelites. But boy, that's a big lightning. I've never really, I mean, I've had kind of the opportunity, but I've never actually done it. It's a bit of a shame. It's a great mod. As you can see, it does like sizable amounts of damage, and I get like a big burst reach, which is just really satisfying, honestly. I think he's dead here. Yeah, like I'm surprised he lasted that long. That explosion, by the way, if you have headphones in, as I do, is just, that's a bass boosted blast, I'm gonna tell you right now. Do I want Purge? I kind of want the other one. I know it showed up in the last mod tree selection. I'm gonna reroll here. Charge shot, and then give me... No. I really just don't want to take Purge right now. Regeneration, absolutely. So yeah, there is still a couple of like mildly offensive upgrades that I want, but I'm mostly focused on defense with this weapon, and I'm probably always going to be. It's just better. Like I said, it starts off as this outrageously powerful weapon, and it stays this outrageously powerful weapon with mild at best amounts of input, and that's really all it takes. Absorption versus Juggernaut. Probably Juggernaut. I do lose some thrust with it, So I think I'm going to start looking at like is it Streamline? I can't remember the mod name, which is terrible. The one that allows me to like turn faster, which is just a nice weapon. Stabilization, that's it. So I get plus 5% thrust, and later on, for that mod tree, I'm going to get the ability to turn faster, which is just nice with this weapon. Also, I pop my shields. What a great weapon for dealing with this guy. I really hate slow firing. Like, grenades are great for him, I guess. I can't think of a great deal of weapons that aren't good for him. If you're decided to use your base weapon, you'll definitely have a bad time, but that's really all that comes to mind. Next run I should do a base weapon game. That's a terrible idea. And I've been texted. Sick. Yeah, I should probably do like a base weapon game. A base weapon run next time. Just like get it out of the way. But I also kind of feel like I want to wait until I have everything unlocked and then do it then. Because that way I have like the options for super mod mastery and all those kinds of things. Now I know I've mentioned super mods a lot, and more of them will, I get to show more of them as the game goes on. Come back here. Oh, that's a super boost, or hyper boost rather. This is phenomenal. Yeah, I get to show it off like as the unlocks progress, and I'm probably going to hit some of them relatively soon. So shows your ability, and then corrosion. They're really, really cool effects and like mod choices that do varying things depending on the super mod and your build. They almost all, with the exception of a few, come with a really, really, really heavy negative, and also require that you build into a specific path or have a specific set of like 2 mods, which can often be like the end of mod trees. So it could realistically actually be like 6 mods total for you to have them to get one, but potentially more sometimes with the likes of drone mods. There's a lot of different upgrades. I should do a drone build next run, actually. There's no reason not to. Purification, yes. Yeah, like, they require specific mod choices, and then provided, like, massively beneficial effects, but also, like, substantially negative trade-offs to come with them. But they're also really cool, and they come in really pretty rainbow colors. I'm going to take agility, although I kind of want barrier, but I'm probably just going to take agility. I like being able to turn really fast. As I've gotten more used to the game, and also tried a couple of Celestial Lance builds, I have begun to enjoy more and more. I didn't die. I have begun to enjoy more and more thrust on my ships, and also just being able to turn really quickly. It's don't do this to myself. It's just really nice, honestly, and especially on a weapon that you have like heavily reduced thrust when you do things like this, when you're charging, and when you like as you release some weapons that have knockback, things like this, and railgun. That's the word I'm looking for. They have knockback on your ship as you fire, and you can get upgrades to reduce that. I'm not going to need it. I think maybe Pulse does as well. Oh no, that's a bunch of rockets. And he's dead. Yeah, let's loop around once, just so that I don't die. I'm gonna upgrade here. Reflexive shields. Ooh, I wonder if reflexive shields works with... It does! I'm pretty sure reflexive shields works with discharge. So if I'm really, really close to an enemy and I fire off a projectile, I don't just get to hit them with the lightning. I get to hit them with the discharge and the vortex. Oh, this is so cool. I love it. So there is an upgrade down one of the trees that I'm actually probably going to take barrier as well. No, I'm going to take absorption. Yeah, I'm going to take absorption. Like I said, I have we experienced last time, I have a habit of putting myself in really, really dangerous positions regarding my shield. And then I'm gonna take... targeting, fine. And then I'm probably going to end up using up a bunch of my rerolls. There's a couple of things that I do want, like 1 or 2 shield related upgrades that I want to get ASAP. We're on wave 75 already. Wow, I'm surprised. Oh god, that means we're going to be hitting Seraph really soon. I'm going to die if I don't move. I would love if one of the wild mods that eventually releases, that did so much damage to my hull. What the fuck? I would love if one of the wild mods that Seraph that Chimeric comes out with later on was something like Vortex absorbs enemy projectiles, but like absorbing enemy projectiles reduces the weapon size, so like it scales out faster. Just because I could fire it into swarms of those mine enemies and not have to worry too much, but I feel like that might just be a bit too good. Like, you should have a trade-off to use this weapon. And honestly, if you're being at all careful and have a couple of upgrades to... I'm going to take power reserves. I'll get out of the pool, and there's nothing else there I like. If you've got it, just being at all careful and not doing what I did last time. Sorry, I had to cough and then really, really focus there. Oh no, oh no, oh no. If you're being at all careful, then that trade-off is not a trade-off. Like, not in the slightest. It's a faux problem at best. As you can see, like, this is without a doubt, in my opinion, probably one of the most powerful weapons in the game. Do I want Adrenal Module? Not really, but I will take barrier. Sure, while I'm here. I do find myself a little bit too often, and maybe it's a mistake on my part. Oh no, please don't. No step on Jack. I realize that I've said that now in like 2 episodes, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. My name is Jake, so yeah, that's the no step on Jack. No. Oh, we did it. He's dead. Okay, that's fantastic. I'm still down my shield, and now I'm not anymore. When's my next upgrade? I like, as I get later into the game, I'm living less for like the enemies and the moment-to-moment gameplay, and more for the upgrades, where it's just like this like a chunky fix where I know that I'm probably not going to enjoy each upgrade that much, but it's just like, I want more, I need more. Give me more upgrades. I'm already level 28, which is a surprise. God, that means I've taken 28 upgrades. I don't want to be near that guy at all. This is the upgraded Juggernaut. I'm practically at Seraph then. This is like wave 90. Oh no. And I was nowhere near him for my shields to discharge. This is an upgraded Juggernaut. Or like Juggernaut 2.0 or whatever. If you stand in front of him, he thrusts. He'll dash at you, leaving behind a trail of mines instead of that all explode into projectiles. Instead of the previous Juggernaut, where if he dashes, he leaves behind like slowly expanding like V-shape line. There we go, a line, that's the word I'm looking for. So I'm going to let him dash here, just so you can see it. He's also just in a bad position for me in general there, so... this is really bad. Oh, I got hyper boost. So yeah, if you have increased thrust at all and you get a hyper boost, it suddenly becomes really, really, really hard to control your ship. At least at the initial kind of like, I'm suddenly moving faster than I was before moment that happens, and then you lose yourself a little bit. He's dead. Ooh, what do I want? I don't want Omni Shield. Omni Shield is the worst possible thing I could take here, because I'll die. Let's just put it like that. I'll die immediately. Do I not have weaponized shields? No. Okay. I already have discharge, so I don't want that. Gonna take guidance. It's cool, I didn't die. And Deadly Wake destroyed them there. So yeah, like a couple enemies like these ones, Deadly Wake is just amazing for. Especially because a lot of enemies later on, they have a lot of health and they'll fill the screen really, really fast. And just being able to kind of, the enemies that follow you around, the ones that appear from off screen if you were nearby there, being able to say like, oh, you know what, you're dead, I need to fire. So most of that work towards the last one was Vortex, but the actual death was, again, Deadly Wake. It's just nice. I don't need to defend it, really, because it's an objectively good thing. But, I don't know, for some reason. I'm going to take Strafe. It's going to take it out of the pool. And also I can do things like that. It's on like an internal cooldown, but I am really bad at managing it. It's also not like a continuous thing. You have to manually activate it. So you kind of like dart in a direction, which also includes forward, I might add. And oh, don't get hit by that. It's pretty cool, I gotta say. I don't think I've ever taken Strafe before, and I want to take it with, there's like 1 or 2 builds that I would like it with. A railgun build where I could be like pointing. That was forward. That was not the way I wanted to go. I should have been punished so heavily for that, and I wasn't. Well, I say I wasn't, but yeah, so Strafe is going to take some getting used to, absolutely, because it's like firing me in the opposite direction to where I'm trying to go. Huh, I feels like I can only go to one side. It's kind of weird. Yeah. I mean, I can hardly... Oh, that was a really sick dodge. Definitely all planned. Force armor. I can hardly only go in one direction. Ha! Taste my Deadly Wake. This is wave 95. Oh, sorry, wasn't that wave 90 before? That's really weird. You need to die, like right now. Stop with the screen-filling mines, please. I don't need this. He's gonna dash at me in a minute, so... Oh, also Rapid Reconstruction is like a massive base hull increase, and then you greatly improve your regen rate, but also removes your shield, and I don't want that. I'm really curious about how, say, shielded constructs would work with Rapid Reconstruction, because it says you have no shield, and shielded constructs applies your shield to constructs, but also takes away your shield. So I don't know. Oh, also, yeah, Rebirth, so I can just reroll my entire run. Sure, why not? I don't like any of these at all. I should take Purge, get it out of the tree. Just take it out of the pool completely. He's dead. That's great. And I'm almost at Seraph, so this has been a pretty successful run so far. Albeit, like, a sizable amount of bad play on my part. I will fully admit that. And I'm a bit disappointed in myself, but then again, like, you know, I'm using Vortex. Like, this is the first thing that I've done with my computer today, so I'm not going to start off on a really, really mechanically intensive note. I'm pretty comfortable just using Vortex right out of the gate. And then I'll work from there. See what I want to do next. Also, you gotta get a Vortex episode out of the way. Like, you're just wasting your time if you don't. It's a bit unfair, I think. I don't want to die here, so I'm gonna screen wrap. And I'm gonna screen wrap again. Check it, what's good? I just might... Yeah. There's Seraph. Okay, cool, so we're at wave 100. So this weapon does sizable amounts of damage to Seraph and immediately destroys those 2 little drones that he spawns. Or is it 3 of them? I think it's 3. And also, keeps him in place sometimes, which is just nice. Because I really don't like Seraph. I like him thematically as a boss, I just don't like him. He's just really, really difficult, that's all. Get fired on. Oh, my shield is down. Where are you? Here. That was the complete wrong side. I didn't expect him to screen wrap there. But apparently he was burning... Oh, Deadly Wake. Cool. So yeah, one of the great things about taking Deadly Wake with... if you do decide to take Purge is... Screen wrap quickly. Screen wrap up. If you do decide to take Purge while you have Deadly Wake, if an enemy crashes into you from pretty much behind or anywhere, actually... God, every mod is terrible. I think I've just like exhausted the tree. Should I just take drones? It's just gonna be like an all-around run. I'm just gonna take radiant shields, honestly. That way I can get weaponized shields. You're gonna screen wrap. He didn't. Not where I thought he was, anyway. I've completely lost my train of thought, and that's just, it's fine. It doesn't matter at all. It's just like, no. Oh, my shield effect radius is so big, I love it. That could have killed me. That was what I was saying. Yeah, if your enemy crashes into you at all, they take all of the purge damage, and since they've just been entered into the Deadly Wake trail, none of it is expired, which means it's like a 240 damage per second. Sizable than that, more sizable than that. I could die here. I need to move fast. I need my shield back. Now. Shield, please. Okay, I got my shield. Please stop with the Celestial Lance nonsense. I'm dead. Oh, and I literally just beat Seraph. I'm so mad at myself. Efficiency was one of the mods that I wanted. It applies damage that you take to your shield and your hull at the same time. That's okay. It's not too big a deal. There's still 27. Is this an unlock? Is it really going to tease me? Oh my god, okay. And we also got Craft, Elegant Construction, which is phenomenal for any kind of construct mods. So you may be wondering why I chose to go for like Vortex and Railgun over say like constructs and kind of ignored them so far, and an extra reroll, of course. Is mostly because, oh cool, we got new things, so it's just GJ. Oh wow, a new high score. I'm really surprised. I didn't deserve that. Yeah, I really didn't deserve that. That makes no sense. Average damage, 1071 per second. Nice. Highest damage, 1012. Oh, that was the 2,803 highest damage. That's sick. Yeah, so I haven't gone for any construct-based mods yet, mostly, except for the one run that we did with our railgun that took drones there at the end, because I haven't unlocked a lot of the mods that make constructs good yet, unfortunately. And while that is a bit of a shame, the like really good construct builds, the ones that are really fun, they do come a bit later. And there's a lot of weapons that I still want to try out and give a go at before I really get into all of those first. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for the episode. I really enjoyed my time with Vortex, devastating Seraph and then dying immediately afterwards, which is just like its own kind of not okay. But I mean, you can't expect Seraph to like drop you a heal or even cut you a break. It's probably the hardest boss. Maybe just purely due to how much it has to kill you with. So I'm going to call it there for the episode. And if you like, you know the drill. Comment, subscribe, like, all that jazz. And I'll catch you in the next one.